Hi, this is Tim from Ansco Mobile, and I'm going to talk to you about using the physics engine in Corona to make a very simple game. So, to start out with, I have a project folder which contains 4 files, one of which is my main.lua file, which is the main entry point into my application. And there are 3 images. There's a background image, there's this floor image that I'll use on the bottom of the screen, and then my balloon, which will be the main actor in this simple game. So to get started, let's first open our main.lua file in a text editor. In this case, it's empty, as we're starting from scratch. And also load up my Corona simulator, and then point the simulator at my project folder. Great. So again, the screen is blank because nothing's happening yet, so let's add something to the screen that we can look at. So first we'll add a background image of our bricks. And to do that, we're going to use the new image method and pass it the name of the file. So if I save my Lua file and then reload, I get the blue background image. Next thing we want to do is add our balloon to the screen and position it where we would like. So I'm just going to copy and paste some more code in here and save. So in this case, we're using the same new image command to load the red balloon graphic from disk, and also we're setting the x coordinate to be half of the display width so that it's centered horizontally on the stage. So if we save that and then reload, we have our balloon. While we're at it, we're also going to add our floor graphic and position its y coordinate at the very bottom of the screen. And I'm going to save that and go back to the simulator and reload. And now we have our floor and our balloon and our background. One thing I want to get rid of is this status bar here, which we don't really want in the game. So I'm going to use some code here to hide the status bar. And if I reload, there we go, I got the status bar is gone. Okay, so we have the graphics all in place, but there's no physics, obviously, and no interactivity. So first thing we want to do is to import our physics engine into our application so we can use it. So to do that, I'm going to add some code to the top of our main.lua file. And let's look at what we're doing here. So the first line of code is we're basically loading up the physics library into our app, and we're assigning it to a local instance called physics that we can then call methods on, like start, which starts up the physics engine and gets it going, and set gravity, which applies, in this case, we're applying downward toward the bottom of the screen gravity, which will act on all physics objects or bodies that are in the world. So if we save this and reload, there's absolutely no difference. And the reason is because right now we just have graphics. We don't actually have any physical bodies that are going to respond to gravity. So the first thing we'll do is going to turn our balloon into a physics body with one line of code called add body, and pass it the name of the object we want to turn into a physics body, in this case balloon. And if I save this work and then go back to the simulator and reload, the balloon is now responding to gravity, and it's falling. If I reload the page, you can see it again. It's not doing what we want. It's going off the screen. So we also need to make sure the floor is a body as well. So I'm going to add the same type of code here. So it's also making the floor a physical body. If you save this and then reload, you can see what happens. Both the balloon and the floor are responding to gravity, which isn't what we wanted. We want the floor to stay put. So to do that, we're just going to add static. So now if we reload the game and the simulator, the floor stays put just like we want, but as you can see, the balloon is passing right through the floor. To fix that, we need to modify our add body calls for both the balloon and the floor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new parameter inside of these curly brackets, which indicates a Lua table, which is kind of like an array in other languages. And I'm going to create a new parameter called bounce. I'm going to set it equal to 0.2. And you can play with these values, of course, on your own to see what kind of results you get, but I'm just going to use 0.2 here for now, and I'm going to copy the same code into the add body call for when we create the body for the floor. And now if I go back to the simulator and reload, the balloon and the floor collide, which is exactly what we want. I would like the balloon to be a little more bouncy than it is, so I'm going to increase the bounce factor here on the balloon by a little bit, and then reload. And then it's bouncing. Maybe too much, but who cares? Okay, so the next thing I'd like to do with this game, such as it is so when I tap on the balloon, it gives it a boost up into the air, kind of like you're playing with a real balloon. So to accomplish this, we're going to add an event listener to the balloon that's called whenever the user taps or touches the balloon, and it will apply an impulse. So the code to do that looks just like this. So our moveBalloon function is our event handler, and it calls apply linear impulse on the balloon object. The impulse is 0 in the x direction, it's negative or upwards in the y direction, and we want to apply the impulse to the balloon's reference point or registration point, which are provided by its x and y coordinates. And then down here we call add event listener to add the event listener to our balloon. So if we save this now and go back to the simulator and reload, Command R, when I tap on the balloon, it kind of gives it a little impulse, and kind of make it go up, 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 and that's it. So be sure to check back for follow-up videos where we'll expand on this game even more.